14 months, and it went from a pea size to a golf ball size. It went from a 1 centimeter to a 2.5 centimeter, and it left my breast and went to my lymph nodes. He says, depending on treatment, you'll have 3 to 5 years to live. I'm sorry for that, having to tell you that, Miss Yelvington.
Yelvington had a double mastectomy while serving her time that left her horribly mutilated. She says that while recovering from the surgery, she contracted an infection that nearly killed her.
Third world countries get better medical than we get. There is no medical.
There are 1.2 million women under the supervision of the criminal justice system. Statistics survey found that 3% of women in federal prisons and 4% of those in state prisons were pregnant upon arrival. 9,430 pregnant women are incarcerated annually. There is even less data on what kind of care pregnant prisoners receive. In some deliveries, prisons would chain the woman to the bed. It used to be a policy. I talked to the ACLU in Minnesota to tell me more about it.
Other cases that the ACLU has taken specifically has been about shackling pregnant women or women who are about, specifically pregnant women when they are giving birth. It's been a policy, or it was a policy for a lot of places, that if a woman was pregnant while she was in prison, she would be shackled and handcuffed to a bed when she was delivering, which sounds incredibly horrible to have to go through. So a couple of years ago, thanks in part to the ACLU and other organizations that worked on it, we were able to get rid of that law in Minnesota, so now women will not be shackled while giving birth.
There are some prisons that imprison women and children for sneaking into the U.S. One of those prisons are T-Don Huddle.
There used to be a women and children's prison in Texas called Hutto. That was technically the government didn't call it a jail or a prison. That's what we called it. It was an immigrant detention center where immigrants and refugees who were waiting to decide if they would stay here or be deported were held, and they would be held for long periods of time. So you're talking about keeping women with their children in a prison setting, and they could be there for 30, 60, 90, 100 days. These kids were not getting access to school. The women, they were not getting access to adequate health care, and so the ACLU sued and was able to get the facility shut down because we should not be holding these women who were not accused of any crimes. These women were not being held there because they committed any crime other than being an immigrant or a refugee who wanted to have access to the United States. Where someone, they needed new teeth, and it was so painful that they couldn't even eat anything, but the state wasn't doing anything to fix that. So when we stepped in and did some advocacy, we were able to get dentures for prisoner who was being denied.
The ACLU have helped many with their cases. You can help protect civil liberties by making an online tax-deductible donation to the ACLU Minnesota Foundation today.